So we are back. It's been, don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks probably since the last episode. But we are 2. Okay, can't count anymore. Time flies. But we are back to watch some. Watch? No, we're not watching. We're playing. We are playing Shadow of the Sorcerer, the long Conan campaign. But we are in part 2. So last time when we met our valiant hero, can I call you that? Valiant heroes? Not sure. Our people here had a mission to deliver a letter from Prince Satabus to a scholar who they had met, and this scholar is in Missantia. But when they turned up in Missantia, they couldn't find the scholar Antaeus. He seemed to have disappeared. They heard all sort of rumors about him being an occultist or preparing to I just realized I constantly get my name here. I need to do something about that. Constantly trying to sacrifice his daughter or things, but in the end they decided they needed to investigate and went into his house, into his villa. They snuck around the villa for a little while, trying to find what was going on, and snuck into his library because they had heard rumors that there was an important artifact in this library. And they discovered something. Do you remember what you discovered in the library? That's over to my players now.
Discovered an artifact, which I opened up. We discovered the note first, indicating that he was captured or something bad happened to him.
Yes, there was a letter. Who had he sent that letter to?
Yeah, there was a letter first.
To his daughter.
His daughter.
To his daughter, Tyra. But it was left on his desk and it was still sealed. You pocketed that, and in there it seemed to indicate that he had been captured or probably killed by now, so that was a bit of a downer for your plans. Anyway, you then went onwards into the library, or poking around in the library, and what else did you find? Shira, I think you found it.
It was, I discovered a picture of Missantia and felt around it, and there was a secret kind of lock, and it opened up the door, and inside was some type of a locket with a fire inside, and I think that Mortaz might have grabbed it.
He might have.
Yeah.
You brought it out, you brought it into the middle of the study, or one of the tables in the study, and you stood around it, but as somebody touched it, Mortaz, I think it was, you all had a vision. Has anybody reread that vision? Because it was a long way to tell it. I think it was 10 minutes of me talking. Yeah, so the vision briefly took you into ancient realms, something that looks vaguely Stygian, and had given you lots and lots of content and strange impressions. Now, if any of our watchers, hello, wants to know what the vision was, you will have to go back to the last episode, because I'm not reading that again. It was a bit long. For my players, I put it into your player notes, so you can find it under... where did I stick it? Pretty sure I gave you that somewhere. Pit of Cthulhu.
It's in the chat, isn't it? The whole thing, but yeah.
Yeah, but also I have a hand... No, I'm pretty sure, yes.
My journal's only got rules in it.
I'll show you. So I have a little handout folder for you, which is actually under Act 1, Fall of Antaeus, currently. I might move that at some point. But that has the vision in it, that has the letter in it as well. And if there's any further things to come, I would put them in here, so we always have the handouts ready. Yeah?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Good. So, however, then at the end, you were just recovering from your vision. You were looking at each other and a bit puzzled and confused and starting to talk about what you had seen when you heard somebody break through the door on the north here, in the north end of this room where you were standing in the library, and in stormed a whole band of wild-looking people, probably Stygians. So, that's where we left it, I believe. I think he shouted something, and that was about it. Is that right? Did I leave out
We
anything?
tried to take position where we could.
So basically, I just scattered you around the room where I think you might have been standing. Or you might have recoiled too as the door burst open. But is that about right? Have we covered what we need to cover before we start having a little bit of argy-bargy?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Right. So, these people here, the door to the library.
I'm glad I'm behind the so that's the main thing.
You're hiding, yeah, of course, behind the meat shield, yeah. The door to the library bursts open. You see people moving in the hallway outside. Well, they have moved in already, you can see that. Your senses are still a bit shaken from the experience on the river, the vision you had. So you're blinking from this baleful sun of a world not your own, and you're taken aback by the sudden arrival of these interlopers. In moments, the room fills with a group of, how many are there? I haven't counted them. 1, 2, 3,
7,
4, 5, 6.
and then 2.
Yeah.
A female, and then there's the leader.
Total of 7. We might have to adjust that slightly because we've got
the woman is the daughter.
Yeah. Don't
hero.
interrupt me. We'll get there. 7 people, warriors, in desert leather, the dusky skin, black hair, and haughty features marking them as Stygian. Each is armed with a long cutlass and a curved shield. Based on the way they move and they react and they spread in the room, you suspect that these people had military training, so they're not just bandits. And one of the Stygian soldiers there is holding in front of him this beautiful young lady named Tyra, and holding a knife to her throat. Yeah, she's trying not to scream, but basically is being held by her quite roughly. You can see that much. A cruel knife pointing at her soft neck. So, and even a thin line of blood is trickling down there. So she's, her eyes glitter with hate and fear. Yeah, however, this big guy in the middle, yeah, poetry courtesy of Midjourney, not out of the book, so it might not 100% match, is this tall man who just exudes arrogance to you. Yeah, this sort of sense of he just looks at you and you know full well that he thinks everybody around him is way beneath him. And he just carries that by a sort of natural ease, if you like he didn't have to train that at all. He glances at you and holds up a hand in a gesture of parley, signaling his men to lower his weapons, and they do so warily, constantly thinking that they might stab you. So, what would you like? Actually, somebody can have a quick, simple, difficulty 0 observation test for me. I don't mind who does it, but just one, please.
Wants to go for it?
I'll go for it.
Go for it. Shira for the win. Need to give you a little bit more momentum than you have. Yeah.
And you can re-roll quite easily.
Good. That's well done. You just look at him and you sort of are slightly freaked out because you know there's one of the guys in the vision, the Stygian in the vision, look very similar to this chap. Looks younger, but looks very similar. Yeah.
The leader of them?
Yeah, the leader
older
of these.
version of him was in the vision.
You saw somebody who clearly resembles him. You don't think it's the same person, but it's like a close relationship. Let's put it that way. Familial similarity. It's unmistakable, it says here. So,
if I recall correctly, in the vision, the ritual rites, I think they were held in ancient Stygian.
yes.
Language-wise. Yeah?
That's right.
Organization.
So,
This could be an ancestor.
Maybe an ancestor, maybe.
he speaks to you in what you think is Shemitish. Some of you know that, right? And says, what does he say? Drop your weapons and release the gem. Who's got the gem now? Still Mortas, I guess.
I do.
Yes, so he's pointing at you.
Yeah,
and release the gem. Over to you. How do you react?
Who speaks Shemitish? Not me, I think.
No, I don't either.
No,
Okay.
I don't either.
He looks at you, glares at you again,
Mortas, go for it.
speaks in a
If
different
I
language.
speak Shemitish.
It says it
I
then in
do. I
another
speak
language. So
Shemitish. Okay.
he tries his very best Argosian. Somebody's good Argosian. And you're an Argos after all. And says the same. And says, lower your weapons.
Doesn't he?
Hmm?
Yeah, I had Shemitish. But just checking.
Okay.
Yeah,
understand.
Moto's got Shemitish.
He's probably learned it already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's very good. He's a quick learner, that guy. So, do you translate for your fellows?
Yeah, I translate for where I can't understand. But I'm kind of looking over to Shira and thinking that we probably shouldn't give this gem over.
I look at this man with the knife and say, "Who are you to be asking?" Tell us.
What language are you using?
I guess I'm gonna use.
Should I just translate?
I'm gonna try.
You
I'm
can
gonna
translate.
say it in Aquilonian,
Okay.
because I don't think that he's gonna speak Turian.
Well, he seems to hesitate a little bit, so I think Moatas might have to translate. Or Durzo, because you speak.
Alright.
What
Singular.
kind of basis Motas translates for us?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
let's
just-
make it easy.
E by default.
So, are you lowering your weapon now? Oh, you haven't drawn it yet, possibly.
I'll have my bow in my hand,
Mhm.
ready to shoot.
I will also ready my weapons instead of lowering them.
Okay.
I don't have my hands on a weapon.
He
Yeah, I don't have my
glares
hands on it.
at each of you and sort of takes a sword and sort of makes a half movement as if he were putting it away and says something else that you sort of understand as a prompt to put it on your weapons. He doesn't think that you've understood him.
I'll in Stygian, given that they look Stygian, I just assume they understand me. Will I say something along the lines of, well, you lower yours first, what's your business here?
Okay, in that case,
So
we can
on and so
speak
forth.
freely. So he says,
You're
we
late
have
to the
lowered
party,
our weapon.
basically.
We have come here to reclaim the treasure that was taken by this thief. Give it back to us. It belongs to us, and you may escape with your life.
What is your business with the girl? Release her. She's done no harm.
You get this little smile that plays across his lips, and he says something to the guy next to him, which in Stygian you hear something like, make her scream, basically, and he roughly handles her, and she starts to whimper a little bit and says, well, she's just our guarantee that nobody in here stands in our way.
Who are you?
You don't need to know who I am. I am the person, we are the people who have a rightful claim to this gem.
To them.
Not all at once.
Who says that we don't have a rightful claim to this gem?
It belongs to my family.
That kind of makes sense, though.
I'm
Should we trade him? Like the gem for the woman?
Say again? Sorry.
I'm
I
gonna
only
go
have
on.
woman.
Okay, so if I'm going to say to the gentleman holding the knife, the imposing gentleman,
The name.
that I'm going to remind, or I'm going to remember, but I don't remember as me, but I remember as the character, and I'm going to describe to him that we have seen the people on the boat. We have seen the man, the strong man traveling on the boat, and the person struggling. And we have seen the voices lamenting as the boat travels. Who are these people to you?
So, all right. So he says, he looks at you slightly confusing and say, This woman speaks crazy. I don't know what you're on about. So, yeah, and again, the others are getting a bit restless, and they're picking their weapon
I don't
back
know if I'm
up.
pronouncing this right, but I forgot the name. It was like Hosa. They were chanting it.
So
I mentioned that if you recognize it.
Okay, you mentioned the name, but again, do me your observation as you mentioned the name. Let's put it to the dice. I think that makes more sense.
My observation.
We're rolling a observation.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one of you, just because he said it and he knew what he was saying. The others didn't know what you were saying.
Okay.
Oxosaf you heard, but okay. He just seems confused that you're saying this name to him, but you don't see a recognition in him. So you get the impression almost like he doesn't know this guy that you have seen in your vision. Oh, he
Does
doesn't know
Tura
often.
seem to have? Does Tura seem to have any kind of reaction to what I stated?
No, none at all. So basically, you need to either parley now, like lower your weapons, or something else is going to happen. So are you going to do something, or are you going to attack?
Seeing that they are all getting restless and itchy, basically in Sigrim, I'm offering them to trade the amulet, necklace, what you have here, for the woman. See if he goes for it. Because it will be way easier fighting them if they don't have a hostage.
Okay.
I'll whisper to Durzo as I'm standing behind him. Swap out the gem for something else.
Can we though?
Just to get the woman.
Well,
It's in silk. Remember, it was wrapped in silk.
Yeah, but did we rewrap it?
you had it open. I would just say I haven't put it out anywhere. But where's Moritas on the map? There's Moritas. So I would say that you probably had it here on this table here. And let's say you're standing over here. You're standing right by it, and Shira slightly over there. And you were standing around Shira just because she was very quick to react. She just danced back a little bit when that came in. So it is lying right in front of you. Or maybe Moritas just grabbed it again. So it's not just lying there, but I would say Moritas has it. So if you want to hand it over or make a deal, that's up to him. But as he suggests this, with translation, he just basically says, you can have the woman if you give me this gem, but we need to be quick. You need to be quick, otherwise we'll get the gem ourselves and keep the woman. So hand it over to one of my people. To
Release the woman first. This, like,
I'm not that foolish.
well, you're
I'll
clearly
nudge Moritas to pass it
clearly
back.
have the advantage of numbers here, so you need to give us something here.
Okay.
I mean, otherwise we brawl it out, and I, ready my
He sends
sword again.
her forward, but the guy is still hanging on, and then he says, give the amulet to Inepni, and he points at this guy here.
I'll head over to Moritas.
Yeah?
Okay. Yep.
And then what? Any sort of
for the
sleight of
exchange,
hand,
Moritas?
or what are you doing? Are you just playing it straight now?
Wait, are you doing something?
On a quick swap here, sleight of hand, just change it for something else quickly. Just to get a woman, then initiative's ours, yeah? So, but I'm not close enough, so one of you two, probably Durzo or someone,
You're going to have a fight.
To make a swap with Durzo?
unless you can get it to me.
Fight.
I mean, you have the amulet, so you would need to do
Yeah.
Moritas has to do it.
or just hand it over. I mean, you can just kill them all and get it back this way.
I think we hand it over. Yeah, we can hand it over.
Yeah, this is going to be a total party kill today.
You may one day.
Anyway,
Hand it over. Okay, I'll hand it over to this guy. Meanwhile, he lets go of her.
So I say it again. You're going over to this guy, Inepni. Can you see the names, or have I hidden them from you? If you hover over them.
You've hidden them.
Okay.
Hidden.
You've hidden them.
So
yeah.
this guy here, that's Inepni, in case you were wondering. They're all named.
Okay.
So they're not just faces.
Introduce themselves.
No, but they have a little name tag. My name is. Ask me about. Ask me about Stygia. So, and he holds out his hand.
And I just slowly hand over the gem or the artifact.
So it's the actual gem. You haven't sleight of handed it out of the way or something. The actual gem, yeah?
In case they open it up, if they likely know what it is, they'll probably start the fight if they find out it's fake.
So with a big grin, he steps back one step, turns around to his master, and shows it.
I'm going to get my bow slightly ready.
Moving.
I'm going to get my whip out, and I'm going to do something radical. I'm going to grab the whip and direct it towards Tura, and because I have control over the whip, I'm going to try to wrap it around her to pull her away from the two people who are kind of guarding her and holding her. So I'm going to try to bring her to safety.
You're trying to whip her out of her situation past Durzo.
Whip her out of her situation. That's right.
Okay, welcome to Indiana Jones. Sure. Why not? I mean, you could have waited to see how they reacted, but you don't want to. So go for it.
Oh, no.
Difficulty, what do we say here? This is at least a 2, isn't it? Maybe a 3. I would say 2. You get her out, but she might be injured. If you do it with a 3, then you might get her out past the knife on her throat.
All right.
Use all that momentum. Don't waste.
I'm not
don't hold back.
I don't want to use all the momentum, but I'm going to roll. Let's see.
Oh, complication!
Oh boy!
So 2 successes.
I
and
did
actually,
get a 1.
That works for me because the complication. Can you re-roll any?
No. Or can you?
Don't know whether you've got any skill any talent that allows you to re-roll.
Can you ever roll complications?
That's a good question. When I last played this, I think somebody who knows the rules said to me, you can actually roll complications, but I really keep confusing this with Dragonbane and so on. So I would have to look it up, which I don't want to. So I'm just going to say I have the complication anyway. So you now have... How do you do that? 5 successes.
It says you may re-roll 1d20, but you have to take the new result. So I think you can.
Oh, I re-rolled both.
2. So let's see, you re-rolled the 17 into a 3, so you still have your 4 successes, if I count correctly, but the 13 remains the 20, remains the complication. So you actually get her out, yes. But your complication is that she's so tight and tangled in your whip that you cannot use the whip for at least a round until you free it. But she stumbles forward. The guy behind is really confused. Doesn't dig the knife into her side. I said 3.
I'm watching Durzo. If Durzo looks like he's going to attack, I'm going to let fire with an arrow.
And basically, they're all looking that they are now gearing up to attack you guys. Yeah.
Okay.
And he shouts something like, "Get them!" Big Stygian at the back. So I have 2 zones on here. You might be able to see a sort of scanned line. So Kryos is standing in a different zone to most of them. It's just Seth Ennis is in his zone. But yeah, let's have a fight. So you acted first. Who wants to go next? It's popcorn initiative, isn't it? You can pass it around between you.
This looks like a prime Molotov cocktail spot here. Just saying.
It does. They're all clustered together around.
This room looks quite flammable.
You are in a library.
Did I act? Or I didn't act yet, right?
Do you want me to shoot first to generate some momentum? Let me go first, yeah?
On you go.
Right.
So I'm going to shoot my bow at this individual here as he's close to me.
I
can shoot him in the same zone, can't I?
I think you get it.
I mean, it just gets more difficult.
It gets more difficult if you're outside of the main zone, the main reach.
Didn't you have the talent that lets you ignore those range bands?
It allows me to reduce it by 1 zone.
Okay.
The bow I've got, which is the Shemite bow, has got a long range, isn't it?
The one is long. You had a medium as well, didn't you? A hunting bow. So that actually would be 2 harder. So it would be difficulty 3 to shoot him with a big bow.
In that case,
We
if
can
I
always
can,
go
I'm
for
gonna, I'm
the-
gonna
Sorry,
cheap
which one are you
one.
shooting? If you're shooting this one, that would be really difficult. But if you're shooting to the next zone,
I'll
it's,
shoot this one
it's
here.
2, difficulty 2.
I'll shoot the one with the gem because if he may drop it.
Yeah, good idea.
I don't know if he's handed it over yet.
He holds it.
Yeah.
He was holding it out when this all happens. I don't have anything that
Yeah.
indicates him as gem.
Okay. So let me shoot him then. So my semi bow is long, medium range. Do I need 2 successes?
Long,
It's
yes.
close range, isn't it? One zone is close, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If you have a medium
Okay.
bow, it works out.
Yeah, but the semi bow does more damage.
And
This gives just
whichever you
one
had in
more
the, I'm sure you're
We
not
have
running around
momentum,
with
so
2
no-
bows,
no
are you?
Yeah, I'll only carry 1 bow with me.
Yeah.
That's strung up any one time. So the semi bow is more powerful. So
Yeah.
because I know I'm good at generating momentum, I'm going to steal the momentum that's there because I think I'm going to generate more if all goes to plan. And it's a D2 then because of the range impact, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, here we go.
Let's go for it. Oh, so many dice, so many dice. And there is 3 successes. That's what you needed. So,
Okay.
do your worst.
I needed 2 successes because of my skill.
Mm-hmm. They have some armor on. They've got some desert leathers.
Okay.
But let's see some damage there.
Ooh, okay. Let me re-roll one of them.
That's not such an impressive roll this time, mate. Okay, you damage him, but it doesn't seem like a very, very solid hit to you.
No, okay. I'll bank the momentum for someone else.
Okay, it has piercing ×1, so it can ignore 1. Now you've got 2 effects, so it can actually ignore as well. Okay, slightly better then. No, so slightly better. But yeah, these are not pushovers. Not like last time.
Good. Time
Okay.
for challenge.
So, Kryos has acted. Shira has acted. Who wants next?
Alright, I'll go buy a candle, and there's a ceramic jug that I didn't use during the 8th fight, so I'll bring it out now, I'll light it on fire, and I'll toss it over to these individuals.
Okay, now we only discussed last time how we would do this, but it's a thrown attack. Now you can basically thrown your
It's
flammable
thrown
liquid.
Uh-huh.
So, thrown attack? What was it? Improvised? I think we created a weapon for it, didn't we?
And with the alchemy, because I have the skill that makes substitute range attacks for alchemy.
Okay. Oh, 13. Lucky or not? Not very
Wasn't
lucky.
momentum available.
So where do you think this is going to land? You're not hitting him.
I have no complications, so I guess
Don't
it's
go
just
backwards.
maybe overshoots or
Maybe it overshoots. So I don't really want to use the animated effects because I don't want any trouble, but I can't quite resist, so I'm going to use a little bit. Boom. There you go.
Oh, nice.
So we got 2 of them, is what you're saying with this.
I think you might actually have. Not the guy you were aiming for, but I think you have some splash damage. Let's call it that way. What's the damage normally would
where's
cause?
my alchemy at? Oh, there.
Remind me, what sort of damage does this normally cause?
Usually cause, depends if it hits, cause both,
5
I think it
damage.
cause both fear and
Yeah, so
physical damage.
it's usually 5 base damage, and it's fearsome, and it's incendiary. So let's say I give you 3 damage dice.
So
Because I think
not
it
sure what I should do.
needs to have some sort of splash damage, given what sort of weapon it is. Or we're making these rules up completely as we go along, but what the heck?
Yeah, I'm just looking for one of them that does 3.
You can just do roll 3d6 if you like.
I just count the first 3. And
Ooh.
nothing.
That's
the
not
fire
great.
is just ineffective.
That's
Spend
not-
momentum to re-roll.
Roll them
Roll
all.
momentum.
No, I don't have a. No, it's fine.
That's fine.
There's one in the pool.
I could.
I think the damage to reroll that you have to use from your own attack. So it needs to be an immediate momentum spent, as I call it. But okay, so there's a big smoke. It goes woof, and there's some fire, which is actually trying to, or starting to burn some of the books, but you didn't hit your target there. So, Durzo, that probably puts you next, doesn't it? Unless you want them to act first.
No, I will just barrel straight into them, swinging at the left guy first.
Okay, Akmose, who's already had an arrow shot at him. No,
No, I
shot
think
one the other
this
guy.
one.
yeah,
Like,
don't know.
this one is
Akmose is
the
also
one
damaged.
with that?
Oh, he was whipped, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was
Oh.
whipped. Something. I don't know why, but hang on. Oh, I know what I've done. I've cloned all the characters. So when I damage one, they all get damaged.
Oh,
That sounds fine to us.
that sounds excellent.
Yeah. I need to change that.
Yeah, that would be a bit awkward to change right now, to be honest. But
Pen and paper.
you do your attack anyway. Just carry on. I might swap them out briefly.
I'll
not
spend the
renaming him.
momentum to add 2 dice.
Good. Very nice.
Oh, wow.
No, he's not dead yet. Just because I removed him, I'm just going to replace him, hopefully.
Okay, damage-wise...
He's also down on vigor.
Sorry, that was the wrong button. There we go.
Oh, ouch. How much is that in total? I'm not looking at the chat right
I
now
can
because I'm trying
reroll.
to sort something out.
Just hang on.
That's the problem. Found the problem.
So that would be 9 plus vicious 1 for 11.
11.
Actually, let me spend the momentum to add another +1 for the vicious, so it's 13 damage.
13 damage. Be ashamed. Be
And
very
it's
ashamed.
intense.
Yeah.
Okay, it's had, even with his armor, basically wiping him out.
Okay.
So
Then let me just
you
check
are
the
a
amount.
slayer. Yeah, so with your, which weapon are you using? Your Kopesh?
the Kopesh, yeah.
With the Kopesh, you basically slice into his side and just stumbles backwards and looks down on him and tries to hold his intestines in, but then collapses backwards with a big yell of pain.
All right, and with my remaining 2 momentum, I will make a second attack. On this fella here.
Durzo's going crazy again.
Yeah, I mean, we can have to deal with those numbers.
Oh my goodness.
Very good.
Very good. I'm just going to say briefly by audio rather than typing it. Hello, Kai! In the stream watching.
Re-rolling.
Another
Yeah,
No.
another 11 damage.
on the next guy. Just
With
because.
intense.
And it's intense. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Never mind. Who needs Septimus? No offense, but you have a mega tank with you. All right. So with a huge bellow of Stygian war cry, don't know what you shout. Maybe you know. You sort of slice through 2 people at
I'll
once.
think of something for the next one.
Yeah, good. By the sun, no, it's too boring. By the snake, not sure you want to do that. Right. You slice through 2 of them. So, you have thinned their numbers. These were supposed to be tough opponents for you. Okay, let's see what happens now, though, because it's their turn. So, let's see. The first guy is going, and he's actually still injured. Replace him with an uninjured one. He's going towards our bowman here. and he's within the same zone, so he can still attack you. These guys also have coppershes, and you know that coppershes hit hard, but they also have a small shield in case they need to defend later. Okay, so he's going to attack you.
It's a free action for him to move to me, yeah.
He's at reach 2. Have you got a particular... No, you're holding your bow, aren't you?
I've got a bow in my hand, yeah.
So you can't really defend that much. So he's just gonna... Am I gonna spend a doom on it? Yeah, why the heck not? So he's gonna roll, and he has a grand total of 1 success.
I can't really do anything about that.
No, you could react, couldn't you? You can have a reaction of some sort, like evade or something, and give me a doom for it. Or you can just say, hey, come on, bring it on, I've got big armor.
Yeah, bring it on, I'm not injured. Yeah.
Yet. Alright, bring it on, he says. Let's have some.
I'm going to regret that. I knew I was going to regret it. Right leg, so I've got 1 point armor. Nevertheless, that's still...
That's a wound. So...
That's a wound, yeah.
His koppesh hits your right leg. And it's vicious. Damage, yeah? It is vicious, so it's +2 is 8.
Yeah, I've got 1 point, so 7 damage, yeah?
Yeah. And it's intense. So if it creates a wound, it creates 2 wounds, right?
Oh, intense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coppers are nasty.
Yeah, I don't know.
As we've seen.
I've read somewhere that they're the best weapon in the game.
Yeah?
Which is doubtlessly why you chose it, right?
No, I choose it because it fits the Egyptian Stygian.
Yeah.
It fits and it looks cool.
Their weapon. Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's an axe pretending to be a sword.
Don't know whether that's good, but cries, you might be crying a little bit. Because you are in pain. Yeah, I can see that you're in pain. Definitely in pain. We need to do something here. So the next guy, he's still handing over his thing, I think. But we've got 3 more, so 2 are going to go for Durzo. And the third one is either going to go for Shira or for Mortas. So on a 1, 2, 3, he goes for Mortas. Otherwise, Shira. Shira!
Yay.
You have your whip still wrapped around Shira.
Yeah.
She's basically on the floor in front of you, sort of on hands and knees, and this guy's jumping towards you with a cry and tries to attack you. Will you let him? I guess you have to.
Well, I don't have to let him. I can attack him with my dagger.
Yeah, but it's still his turn first. You might be able to react, though.
Oh.
You could do a reaction of some sort. Ooh.
But I don't need to.
Not like this.
He's fallen into my dagger.
Oh, what a roll.
I didn't even have to attack. I just got it like that, and he's just... Oh, he tripped on his gown or something.
Lob into his throat.
That's reasonable for 2 complications. That's reasonable.
It's absolutely reasonable.
So. Okay, he certainly he drops his weapon when he falls over straight in front of you. He might fall into your dagger. Okay, I'll give you... Do a damage roll.
Let's just say he slipped on the rope.
Let's just say roll? You get, because he's staggering so much, you get the free attack. Let's just do it that way. You get a free dagger attack. That's not bad at all. Now, you have Unforgiving in it. Unforgiving is to what? Remind me. If the target is staggered, which he is...
First, add intense and vicious.
So you get intense and vicious. So that makes it 4 damage, right?
4.
And you're re-rolling as well. It's still 4 damage. And...
Yeah.
Intense and vicious. 4 damage is not enough for a wound, but you're definitely damaging him. So, gosh, how can he do that? 4 minus his armor. It's more of a cut than a wound on him. But basically, you escaped a big attack on you. So, top of the turn.
But I still have my turn.
Yes, you still have your turn. Top of the turn. What do you want to do?
Stab him in the back of the head.
You want to go first, do you? Now he's staggered, he's prone. There's probably a rule for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But heck, again, you get an advantage on your rolls, so I'm going to make it a difficulty 0 attack.
Okay.
Rather than the 1. One success, okay. He is staggered, he's in front of you. Attack him. I mean, damage him.
Yep.
So, again, he is staggered, so I'm going to say that Unforgiving works. It would be 2 physical, but there's 4 physical, and the other one doesn't matter.
I use the momentum to reroll.
The momentum, you can. You can reroll the damage dice. That added another 7, 5. That's a wound, so it's 2 wounds, and you got him because of the intense.
Very good. So that was an attack. Do I have enough kind of turn to kind of unravel her, or at least put her behind me?
You can move, so you can pull her behind you, definitely.
Yeah, so I'm going to pull her behind me and try to unwrap her.
This fight is not going the way I wanted it to. But yeah, you're trying to unwrap her from your whip, I take it. Yeah, that's what you meant.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, she's not a present. Okay, who wants to go next? Can't believe what you're doing here.
Not to interject here, but the 2 guys that were attacking me didn't attack me.
Oh, sorry. In that case,
I'm not complaining. I'm just,
There's like once the attack is just a retaliate action.
I'll get back to that one.
We just figured that Julian killed them.
That's why the fight wasn't going right. Okay, they both attack you. The first one attacks you right away, and he's very, very angry.
I'll parry, of course.
But doesn't help him at all as he's angry. Anger leads to fear, fear leads to hate, and hate leads to failed attack rolls.
Nothing, okay, so...
And the second one. Don't roll yet. So where was I?
Parry both of them.
You're parrying?
Yeah, both of them.
All right.
Obviously.
All right. Okay, yeah, you parried him.
So that was for the first one?
The first one didn't actually hit you, so there was no need to parry.
Yeah, this doesn't matter. If you parry, it makes it a struggle.
So for the second one, you gave me a doom automatically.
Just a moment here. I'll retaliate.
Yes, of course. Go on. Tell us about retaliate.
Let me just read the wording because...
Retaliate is a talent that you recently acquired, right?
Just parried. So...
Yeah.
Normal attack roll, which works out.
Oh. Oh.
Rerolling those 2. So 12 damage.
You need to wear Playmail armor, I think.
Can I just say, das ist ja nicht mehr feierlich.
No, it's not.
I think Doe understands me. It was Stygian, in case you're wondering.
It wasn't fair, right?
Yeah.
On a retaliate, you basically make mincemeat of him. Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
He's averaging
it's insane.
About 12 every time he hits.
Okay, right. Who wants to act?
Didn't the second one attack me as well?
Yeah, but one of them missed you,
missed
but you didn't... I don't think you parry him successfully if he misses. If that makes sense.
Yeah, second attack.
Yeah, for your retaliate action.
I mean, the way I understood it is, as soon as you're parrying, you're just doing a struggle. So you just need to have more successes
Yeah,
than your
I
opponent.
suppose. And you had more successes for both of them. Yeah, okay, go on then.
You don't have to
I
carry
only
miss,
rolled
though,
one,
that's
so
the
I
thing.
would need to roll for the second one as well, depending on how you rule it, though.
No, let him live. Come on. Let him live. That's how I rule it. But it's your guys' turn
The
anyway.
second parry needs to- Okay. Okay, I probably could go now. I got the ranges wrong last time. I could have bowed without penalty. But
Okay.
So I'm going to need to use 1 momentum to do a withdraw action,
Right.
so I can back away without him getting a free attack.
Right.
think
Let
I've
me
got
just
that
have a
right.
look. Withdraw, you say. And the momentum gives you that for free, does it? You check that.
Yeah, you've got a withdraw option. 1 momentum. The character leaves the reach of an enemy without triggering any retaliate.
It's the last one on the list. I see it. Mm-hmm.
But withdraw is a standard action, though.
Yes.
So therefore, I'll do a withdraw action to get away from him because I'm no good in combat because I've only got bow man.
Okay.
That's 1 momentum spend. I'll need to use a fortune to ignore the effects of the damage I've taken.
Right.
So I'll reduce my fortune down by 1. And
Who says this
I
game is
don't want to get
complicated?
into. Yeah, I don't want to use another fortune to actually just get an attack. So I'm going to move away somewhere a bit safer. So I'll go round the
To a
back
different
here.
zone. Okay, good.
To a different zone.
Can you do me a quick move roll? I think agility, I think it's called in this game, because I wanted to have this as these tables basically as obstacles, so it's like a cluttered zone.
You want me to be athletics?
Athletics or acrobatics? Acrobatics.
Acrobatics?
Yeah, that's what I was looking
Yeah,
for.
I'm just
Agility,
saying,
acrobatics.
Okay, I'll do.
And yeah. Oh,
Oh, wow.
double
Wow.
20, no double 1. Oh, seriously.
In fact, I will leap over those and maybe land further away. It's such a good roll.
You leap over them, do a flick-flack, as they call it.
He's doing a flip.
Yeah, a
Parkour.
flip
Yeah.
Inside parkour.
over your hands, and you basically sit down on that armchair.
Yeah, well, okay.
And cross
With my
his
bow in my
legs.
Okay. Like a
And
D&D
take a
bard
shot.
would, yeah. No, he's not taking a shot. But that was an exceptional round. You just created some more momentum.
Thank that for whoever needs.
Just 1, because your wounds make it really hard to actually make that. I didn't think you would make that. So,
Hey, you're more wounded.
Yeah,
But
I
he's
should have,
ignoring the
because I
wounds,
used a
isn't he?
fortune. Should have actually done that first.
okay.
So ignore the damage penalty.
So, bum-ba-dum. So that means we now either allow Mortas to act, or Durzo.
Uh,
Because Shira had her turn.
there's
You want to
another.
go first?
No, you can go ahead.
All right.
Instruction.
In this case, I'll just.
What have I done to my legions? But I have to say that 2
Before
of them didn't
I,
act.
whack him, I will shout and stick in for them to surrender, drop their weapons, and yield to our might.
That's what you're doing.
Persuade.
Okay.
Right.
Tira is just staggering and getting up as well. So, I need to just look briefly at my notes here. As you do that, there is a short moment of calm and a breath of calm. But then, all of a sudden, the torches that they brought in, and some of them are lying on the floor now, are turning from their nice orange flickery torchlight to sort of a pale blue and greenish light. And you feel like darkness comes over the high windows above you, and the chill wind whistles to the library all at once. A whirlwind of papers is flying around just as you say, surrender. In the center of the room, a tall and terrible figure of a man appears, pale and translucent, with a fearsome expression on his face. So he looks a little bit like this chap. like the Stygian there on the by the door. Can I ask you first of all to each do a challenging, that's difficulty 2, discipline test, as this spectre just appears in front of you.
Challenging. That's not going to go there well.
Oh, yeah. Discipline?
Discipline.
Oh, close, isn't it?
Oh! That was
Oh,
unexpected.
you didn't think you would make that?
No,
Number 8.
no way.
Okay, yeah, you did it. So let's see who failed this. Cryos did. Everybody else did it. Oh yeah, mortas complication. I'm not going to do anything with the complication at this point. Those who failed it, you have one despair, one despair attack on you. One despair. Do you know what despair does?
No.
So basically, what happens is the despair damage you get takes down your maximum resolve. So that means if you look at your character sheet, resolve, you've got the current on the left, and on the right you've got there's the max, and then there's a little rune almost. If you click on the rune, that basically gives you one despair, and that will limit your maximum and also take down if you are currently at the maximum. Yeah?
Is that repairable?
No,
That is repairable. It is repairable, but not in the middle of this. You need a longer rest for this. So basically...
Any further despair beyond that will become permanently.
Yes. I think that's right.
Okay.
So what does it say here? Recovering from despair does not take long once you have found something to revive your spirits. Good food, good night's sleep, a warm hearth, a night's companionship, or something else to bring satisfaction and comfort. After 8 hours of rest, you may attempt an average discipline test. Yes, and people with counsel can do it. But for the time being, it limits this. Basically, the spectre is appearing in front of you, and
Quivering in fear.
Everybody is quivering in fear, one way or another, whether you made the discipline check or not, because this is something you have not seen before. It's causing considerable panic amongst the surviving few Stygians, so he runs away, he staggers backwards as well. And it's a bit odd, but again, he this chap reminds you a little bit of the man in the vision.
Which one? The enslaved one? Or
Powerful one?
I think it was the enslaved one, yes. I would have to reread the vision, which I'm not going to do now because we would need a commercial break for that. Yeah. So this figure is starting to just lash out. He actually pushes away this one guy who had just moved. He pushes him away. And yeah, that's what he does. And what is he going to do? He's got a spectral grasp. Basically, his hand reaches out and seems to enter the chest of the guy he pushes away and sort of rip something from him as he staggers away. And he's looking like somebody tried to rip his heart out, basically. You can see how he's bleeding from the chest and staggering backwards. So, does anybody now want to surrender?
Is he fighting against all of us?
Is he? So
is he not taking any sides? The new spectral ghost?
Well, he seems to now be turning on to Durzo, but I'm going to say that he only has one turn as well. He's not going to attack everybody at once. But he seems to be sort of incorporeal. Yeah, that probably makes sense.
That's not good.
Actually, we've done that, haven't we? Discipline test. Yeah, that's good. Done that. Didn't forget that this time round. Yeah, what do you make of that, guys?
Well, if your only tool is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and in this spirit, I will attack the ghost.
Kopesh.
Does this hit him?
It was a decent attempt, but basically it just glides through him. It just zooms straight through him, and with this swing you expect it to connect with something, but it basically takes you off balance as well after the attack, because your mighty weapon basically just zooms through thin air. And you see, or you hear a sort of spectral cackle.
In this case, I will shout at the top of my lungs to run, everybody, and
we make our way
make
to
it out
dining hall.
alive.
With
The gem.
with a bang, the doors behind. I can't do this on this map, but the doors behind him close.
This one.
This one. The other one you closed.
That one, yeah.
It's still closed. You closed it on your way through. But this one here is basically banging shut, like blown by some wind. You're now in a locked room with a spectre.
The other men are there as well, aren't they? Yeah.
The other men are there as well. One of them is on the floor. The other one is slightly injured, and the Stygian seems to be looking at the spectre in amazement. In a way, more than amazement than anything else. So, who can act next? I think Cryos can act. Mortis can act still. Yeah, it's your turn. Also has acted, but the others can act.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell his name, but that the gem might be the only way to stop him, to stop fighting us.
Well, they're not currently fighting you.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell him to pass over the gem to defeat the spectral ghost.
Oh, good idea. Good idea.
Smart thinking there.
Smart thinking. How will he react to that? Let's see.
Persuade or...
I'll say that he takes the bundle that the silken bundle that he had just unwrapped a little bit to have a look at it, and looks at you, and he throws it at the spectre. But basically, it bounces through the spectre and lands on the floor just about there. It doesn't seem to change the disposition of this charming spectral person towards you.
Okay.
So that if you like that calling, that shouting was a free action, you can still do something else.
I'm going to move over by these doors, see if they open. The dining hall doors.
You run over there, and you didn't lock them. You just closed them. Yes, so yes, they do open. Okay. I can't remember whether I've got walls on that. Have I got walls on this? No, officially you could walk through them, even though the graphics indicate that they're closed.
I think we closed them behind us, didn't we, when we came through?
You did, but basically you can open them now. The graphic won't change, as I said, it's a fixed graphic. But that would allow you to move into a new room, new zone. Okay, Shira, what do you do?
I'm going to bring... So I would imagine that she's unbound now. Tura?
Yes. You've unbound.
Okay.
Unwrapped her,
so
untangled her.
I'm putting my whip away. I'm bringing her with me. I'm going to quickly bend down and grab the stone. So that will be my movement, is grabbing the stone, moving towards Mortaz. And before I get to him, so I'm going to move over, move over here. And, oh, I can't move her. And I'm going to scream with Intimidate to the specter.
Yes.
With Persuade, but with my Intimidation, leave us.
So with a commanding voice, basically, that's what you're going for.
Yes. Yeah. I'm using Force of Presence.
Okay, Force of Presence. So
attack, right?
That means your damage bonus on mental attacks is increased by 1, but basically you're doing a mental attack on it.
And what's the difficulty?
I don't actually remember how this works. I could spend something to make it a contested roll, right? But I could spend some Doom. And that would go against its for resolve.
I think it's against its discipline, right?
Fortitude. I think we're going to do that. I'm going to spend a doom to go against this fortitude. So I'm going to roll that, and you roll yours. And then we see.
So
who's got more.
Okay, so what am I rolling? My persuade?
It should be a mental attack. So you probably have something on your character sheet which is a mental attack.
Yeah, Steely Glare is one I've got.
Steely Glare is the basic one, yeah.
Yeah, everyone can do.
Steely Glare does persuade personality, so yeah, if you make a persuade.
Oh, is it intimidate? Let me just check this. You can use your physical presence or carefully chosen words to compel obedience from others. When making any appropriate social test you can make, you can generate one automatic success. I wanted to use. So you can use a social test here, yes, because you have intimidate as well.
Use persuade, and I am going to spend that. Oh my goodness!
So you bellow, and you each have the same successes, and if you have the same successes, the players win. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. So you can roll for your mental damage for your thing, but we will have to figure the complication.
Mental. So hold on.
I know it's complication. I know a complication. Good.
What? Okay, so how do I roll for persuade and the damage?
Right. If we go,
sorry, I'm not feeling Steely.
Just use Steely Glare, but you get
Steely
one extra
Glare
die.
is 2 dice.
We get an extra die. Yeah, because
go
of
to
the other
little
ones.
briefcase up top. Items.
You can drag it over.
Yeah, it's under actions and then attacks, and then if you click damage, it will allow you to give you one extra bonus die on there. Just put it on talent, because your talent allows you to increase your mental damage by 1.
Okay, so I'm on talent, and
attack type at the top.
I have intimidate.
It's +1, isn't it? So it's 3 damage dice, basically.
I'm sorry, okay, so I'm... Alright, so how do I roll that by just typing it in?
You just do 3d6, so /r space 3d6.
You can also type CD for combat.
Yeah, but we can work it out. So that's 3 damage, basically.
Sorry about that, I just didn't... I can't find it on my sheet.
That's fine, don't worry about it.
You need to drag it over onto your character sheet, and then you can click damage.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
I've done that.
I understand.
It's on his character sheet. Okay, anyway, courage, you shout at him, and basically, you're shouting at a quite mighty spectre here, and he doesn't seem to be that impressed. In other words, in mechanical terms, it bounces off his courage, because courage is morale armor. But as you shout at the top of your voice, saying, "Retreat, leave us alone," or whatever it was, you start hearing some dogs barking in the distance. And you can hear some of these guard dogs which were around here now running towards you. But luckily the door's closed, isn't it? The door's
not anymore.
Well, let's see. Okay, so that nice try. Anyway, that door's open right now, but actually there's an open archway over here. You're quite right, thanks for reminding me. So let's get the dogs on the map. I like it. So you hear from that archway where the entrance hall is, you hear some dogs barking. Mortars. And you can see one dog coming around there. That's your complication. So, is there anybody else who still needs to go amongst you?
Yeah, I've got to go. So, I think I'll move over to the door.
Yeah?
Did you actually open the door, Motaz?
The door's open. Yeah.
I'll stand back and try and call the dogs forward. Yeah.
How do you want to call them? Do you want to command them, or do you just say, "Come and get some"?
I'll just whistle and come and get some. I'm not going to try and command them. I have no animal skills. I just want to draw them in quickly,
so that they attack you.
Stand back to let them rush through.
Oh, so you actually do want to try and sick them on the others.
I want to get because the dogs and the spectre may be scared of dogs. Always possible.
All the dogs might be scared of specters.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have any animal handling, but you have some personality, so do me a personality roll.
I think you need a sorry.
You do have a
Just do
couple of
first level.
momentum.
Just an animal handling roll, isn't it? Because it's basically the same
Yeah.
for me.
It is the same.
In fact, I'm going to nick one of those momentum.
Dum, dum, dum.
Didn't help.
Well, the dogs certainly, you attracted their attention.
Yeah. They're coming towards me now, looking hungry.
And you can still try to jump to the side, but you're bleeding nicely, so there's some yummy blood dripping from you on the floor. This is not going so bad. Anybody else who's still going? You're all piling up at the door now, aren't you?
Please get out.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this to narrative moment for a moment. Narrative fight. You are pretty beat up. Durzo, your big attack that has never failed you before just went through this guy, and you're a bit disheartened, and you're just wondering what's going on. You're sort of transfixed by this whole thing a little bit. You're probably slightly wide-eyed in your stare. But as this happens, Tura is basically getting up, and she is shouting something, you're not quite sure what, and all of a sudden you get another presence entering this place right next to her, and between her and this other spectre. So this presence is, let me just find him. Looks vaguely like that. Let's zoom in. So many tokens. Right, let me just find the right bits. So, there. Done that. Just as you don't know the name, as the spectre's sort of face after her scream settles on her, and he reaches towards her to try and get her with his grasp. He just ripped out the heart of the other guy, basically, or he's trying to do the same to her now. This other spectral form shoots up, seemingly from just the floor where he was standing, and shouts, and you hear this in a terrible voice. Is exactly what Shira was trying to do, but more impressive, of course. Toth Macri, son of the serpent, in the name of Holy Mitra, I command you, release her or face my wrath. And with that, he sort of makes this new spectre with a beard, makes a sweeping movement, and the others are all, including Durzo, bowled over to the floor, and this other spectre is pushed right back against the wall. What do you do with that? You recognize this guy, by the way. You recognize this guy here. You've met him.
Look like Antaeus, does he?
As Antaeus. Yeah, and Tura just looks over and sort of between the two ghosts and says, "Father?" A wave of horror fills the faces of the Stygians, at least, and they clamor at the door and manage to open it and start to run away. But this spectre is still sort of blocking your path. So, do you let them get away? That's the question. What do you do? Yes, you've got two ghosts in one room now, and they seem to be not friendly with each other. What do you do?
We can't stop the ones running away. Let's just let them get out of here.
They'll face the dogs. Yeah, the dogs got them.
Yeah.
You face the dogs.
I think it's time we left. We need to get out of here.
Yeah, I agree.
So
let's go. Get away from that spectre.
In the moment, basically, these two ghosts, there seems to be some sort of, magical duel, for lack of another word, spectral duel between them. But basically, this Stygian, as the Stygians disappear, the Stygian spectre is also disappearing quite quickly. And you hear, I'm just taking them off the board to clear up a little bit. You hear a sort of strange voice which resonates, even though it's quite tired, as this other spectre turns around to Tira and just says, "In Ascalon, find Baruch. The eye must not open." And then he fades into thin air, as if he were never there. And you still have the dogs.
I must not open.
The eye must not open. Do you want me to put that in the chat for you?
Yeah. Was there an eye in the gem?
Yeah, it looks like
you could
so.
argue that it looked like a gem, yeah.
Didn't we already we already know it's the Eye of Acheron, isn't it?
Yes.
Or do only the players know this? Not the
I
character?
think the players know this at this point.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't think there was anything that was a label on it, so... But anyway, in Ascalon find Beruch, the eye must not open, and then he sort of fades with a sort of loving, caring look at Tira, who's got still some blood on her neck, but looks very confused. So all that remains at this point are some dogs running towards you.
Okay.
Let's bring all the
Pull the door closed. Pull the door closed quickly.
But actually, as Tira sees the dog, she shouts a couple of commands at them, and they desist. Let's put it that way. Because this is her house, isn't it?
Of course.
Right. A brief moment of respite. I'll just take the dogs off. We don't need dogs right now. Other dogs are not nice animals, so I understand, right?
Are the specters? Is the specter gone?
Yes.
Her father?
Both of them are gone.
Yeah.
Both of them are gone. Now you have
Okay, he's still on the.
No, it's
Yeah, you should
Okay,
have-
he's just still on the map. That's all.
Is he?
Oh,
Sorry.
I turn to Tura. Sorry, I turn to Tura and I say to her, "Are you okay? I'm sorry. I wanted to bring you away from the threat."
I am fine. But what are you all doing in my... Oh, there's one Stygian as well. What are you doing in my house?
Your father had invited us to meet, and I turn over to Mortaz and I say, "Do you have the letter that was left?"
I assumed I left it on the table, so no.
Last time you pocketed it.
No, I don't. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I do, and I take it out of my pocket and reveal it to her. Just let her read it for herself.
She says, "Oh, this letter? Where was it?"
It was on the table.
Oh, my dear. And she sort of
Your father.
clutches it after reading it briefly. She clutches it to her chest, and she seems quite upset by it. And then you hear some more breaking noise and some big noise coming down the corridor, and basically a detachment of guards are coming in and surrounding you. And these are city guards.
Nice timing of them.
should have come earlier.
Well, you're not quite sure, but maybe they just waited until the trouble was over. The big trouble, anyway. So you've got some
That's really
guards
quick.
coming
While
from...
all this is happening, I will head over to Krias and stitch up his wounds, or attempt to.
Go on.
Oh yes.
Or is your fortune point is basically, does this mean your wounds are stitched up, or that you just get
You
to
could
ignore
ignore them for this scene, so they
It
didn't give
means I
them...
need. I ignore them.
Alright.
Yeah, but they're
them?
still
In this
there.
case, let me stitch you up real quick. Do I roll per wound, or just do I need just 2 successes for
2 successes would be good enough.
2 wounds?
Yeah, because my vigor will return to max once I've rested, won't it?
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
use our last
Between
momentum.
seasons.
That is one
And
success. So
reroll.
one of your wounds is now
Oh.
treated. If you click on it again,
I
you
can
get a
reroll
white
one.
star. That means... Oh, you can... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
2 successes. Both of
Why
your
not?
wounds are now
Alright.
treated. Hey, we used our healer.
Hey,
I can do something
there's
else.
Thank you,
Terzo
Deso.
does it
You
all.
can do everything.
You can
I want
help
to bow as
people
well.
and patch them up. No, he's an all-round talent, all-round good person. Good.
My initial idea was a combat medic, but then I learned that healing during combat is not a thing in this game.
Not really, no. So you just decided to do combat first and then medic later. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
only the enemy needs a medic in the middle of the fight.
So You see, let me just find this. The watch bursts into the room with a rattle of harness and drawn swords. A man whose garb and air of authority easily marks him as a guard captain shouts an Argosian to you, and he shouts something like, "Down with your weapons, Captain Abuntis of the city patrol commands it." I don't have a special token for him, so he's just going to be one of these guard sergeants.
Yes. Bring my bow over my back.
Actually,
Yeah,
thought
I
had
put it
that.
away. Everything's
Yeah,
away.
shooting the weapons.
Behind him stands another man, slightly nervously looking at you. He seems to be wearing a habit of mitra, priestly robes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And as you're laying down your weapons, good choice, might I say.
I say, Sergeant, did you see those brigands leave the place?
I saw no brigands, but he shouts over to the other group here and says, "Go and search the rest of the premises." And they say, "Aye, Captain." And then close the door behind them.
I'll point over to the corpses on the ground. There's some of them dead there, but the others fled, including their leader.
You'll see. But what are you doing here? Are they your consorts?
Oh no, we was invited here.
Interesting.
We've done no wrong. We were attacked here.
You're saying you
We're
were
purely
invited?
innocents.
So as you say that you've been invited, Tira looks at you. A bit confused, because you hadn't really had the time to talk about it. But basically she now steps forward after looking at you for a moment and tells Captain Abuntis, says, "Oh, these fine people are in my employ." You probably look at each other and say, "Hey, what?" "I am the daughter of Antaeus, owner of the home. And I just returned to Missantia at my father's behest to see to some business matters. These people accompanied me and just defended me from a bandit attack." The guard captain seems to buy that right away. Yeah. But the priest looks slightly dubiously, and he says, "What about the Eye of Djachroum? Is it here?"
Sure, you pocketed it, right? But I'm not revealing that.
What are you talking about?
"The jewel. Is it here?" And it gets slightly louder.
I describe the large guy and say, "We exchanged it with him. It was here, and now it's in his hand. He ran away." And I use my persuasion to kind of emphasize the point.
You can try that. Okay.
And I did find Steely Glare, by the way.
Good. You found Steely Glare for next time.
Yeah, it was right there. I don't know.
Don't worry about it. We are making this up as
You want me to
we're
roll?
learning, and if we can't remember how to do it, we'll just make something up to keep the game moving. And that's how I run my games. If you don't like it, I'm sorry.
Perfectly fine.
So
Want me to persuade?
you can try persuade. Yeah, sure. Why not? Just for laughs.
Difficulty what?
2. I'm going to set it at.
Use your momentum. There's one left.
So you have 2 successes. So Toma sort of seems to believe it. Complication is that Tira turns around to you and says, "I saw you pocket it," and holds out her hand. You hand it over?
Go on. Sleight of hand. Give him something else. Go on.
I'm gonna give her the mirror that is in my pocket.
You hold up the mirror and she says, "That's not what I meant."
So
As I'm standing next to you, do you want to just pass over the actual thing in case they search you?
let's just say that you pickpocketed me, and I'll be going along with it.
All right, do a thievery, but if you want it to be unobserved, I want a difficulty 3.
Oh my gosh! Sorry, I used that momentum.
I'm
fine.
sorry, but
I'm
this
gonna
is not
use-
you.
You
You've
got
got
this. You got this.
everybody watching you.
Yeah, I have faith. There's no
3
momentum. Here
ones.
we go.
3 ones. Come on.
Could we help him by distracting them?
He's got 3 successes.
He made it.
3.
No, but Tira is still
Hands up!
looking
I
at
did
you.
use a fortune to make the one.
Yeah, I could tell that. I
Yeah.
could tell because the roll wasn't as good. You managed to actually lift it from her rope somewhere where you saw her pocketed earlier. But Tira is still looking at you. I know you have the gem there that Toma is speaking about. It belongs to the temple. No, she doesn't say that. Sorry. She just says, I think I've seen you take the gem. Please return it to me. With a big force of personality as well.
I look at her and then I kind of shift my eyes over at Creus so that she sees that I'm looking at him.
Her sight goes across to Creus. She looks at you. Have you got it now?
There's
Okay.
a pickpocket.
Who's the name? No, yeah, that's why you're next to me. Go on, do the move.
Just move it down the chain. Oh, it's like the, what is it called? Der Plumpsack geht in German. Don't know whether that translates to Austrian. It's a game where children sit in a circle and you have a knotted tissue or something. You hide it behind you and then you have to pass it around and somebody is circling the outside and has to find it. And if he finds it and taps you on the shoulder, you have to do the running.
Kind of feels you need to give it up then, doesn't it?
That duck, go, I think is what we call it in North
Okay.
America.
That's not a search engine. And browser, DuckDuckGo.
Okay.
My son
Okay,
uses that. Anyway.
It is.
See, now
I'm going
I
to
learned
get it out
something.
then.
So Tira is holding a hand to you, and you are basically putting it in her hand.
Yeah.
And she gives you
Oh.
one of her
This thing, is this what you're after?
sweetest smiles, and you just feel a warmth, a ray coming from her, the gratitude, and you know that you've done the right thing. So she is quite confident now, and big sort of, moves and so on. But as she touches this, let's see. There seems to be a momentary pulse of light from this gem. She blinks a few times, going, and then she swoons a little, falling into Shira's arm slightly, or falling against her, and then rights herself, shakes herself a little bit, puts it around her neck, tucks it into the collar of her tunic, covering it up. And then she turns around to Toma and said, well, this gem belongs to my father. If you have not got any documentary evidence to say that it belongs to the temple, I shall keep it. The
Okay,
guard captain is really sort of, what's going on here? And looks around a little bit and looks at the priest, and the priest looks at you and looks at her. There's a moment of real utter confusion. Do you want to do anything about that?
No, I'm curious if she had the same vision, but I'll ask that later.
Yeah, that's what I was just about. I was going to ask her when there's a moment, like, did you see the vision of the boat?
But before that, I'll say to the sergeant, Sergeant, I think it's time to leave. This lady needs some rest. We've been attacked here. We need to rest. Everything's okay now.
She seems
As the lady says, we are working for her.
Okay, she seems slightly taken aback
It's
and
nothing to
not a bit speechless right now, but as you're talking to the guard, she just nods a couple of times, and then Thomas says, make sure you come and speak to the priestess in the temple. We need to talk about this more. But then he turns on his heels and goes out, together with the guard. So finally, you are sitting around, if you want, a dining room table, This map is really seeing its use today, isn't it?
It's a beautiful map.
Yeah, it's the same map as last time, just a slightly different perspective.
It's just a seat this time.
Yeah, and you can see it last time was all black to you, or you chucked you out of the game, didn't you? Tira now turns to you, and she seems to be coming back to her senses a little bit, and say, "May I ask your names and why you are actually here?"
Well, I go around to introduce ourselves, and as we said, this was not lie, we were invited by Antaeus. We met him back at the court of King Setebus.
Oh, on his journey out to Shem.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
He truly invites us here.
He
was not here when we arrived.
He did write to me about his explorations of Shem. It must be a very strange country. I have not been there. So tell me a bit more.
Can I ask about what happened?
You're gone, asked Mortis.
About what happened if she had a vision when she touched him.
She says, I don't know what to call it. Was it a vision? Was it a dream?
You see a boat.
Maybe it was both. And then she sort of hesitates and takes this gem off again, wraps it back up, goes to Shira and says, maybe you should hang on to it. I have a feeling about this, that you should be hanging on to it.
I will.
For me.
And we will ensure that it is protected. There is some deep meaning within it, held within it. Shem is a beautiful place, and this is a beautiful place, but there are lots of people who are deceptive around here. Do you know a Publio?
I have heard his name. I believe my father had some dealings with him. I think he is an utterly disreputable man, though.
Yes, he was the one who encouraged us to go at night and to ensure that things were okay here. I'm a little suspicious of anyone at the moment, not knowing exactly what your father has gotten himself into. He had a relationship with the temple, obviously. He worshipped Mitra, but he was borrowing artifacts? Is this one of those artifacts?
It might very well be, yes. You know the letter you gave me earlier? Let me... she just gets it out of her tunic again. Have a closer look. And she sits down at the desk and she gets another... one of the many quills and so on, opens some inkwell and another piece of parchment and starts sketching something out and said, this is in code. This is a coded message from my father. Oh. And with that, she takes a few minutes to go over it and then says, this is what it says. Show play it. This is not going to be very exciting, I'm afraid. Observer.
Deciphered message.
Deciphered message. Does it now pop up for you?
Yeah.
Can you now see it?
You'd shared it accidentally before, I think.
I haven't. If I have, I didn't mean to. So, how about now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the deciphered one says, an item of considerable value is hidden in the vault, and regarding this, these instructions are to be followed exactly. It must be handled only with the greatest of care. You are to first contact the priest at the Temple of Mitra. His name is Toma, you just sent him packing. And he has been made aware of the existence of the item. This artifact is ancient and of potent evil. I fear that it contains some great evil once sleeping, but now awakened and aware. Toma and Ariadne, his superior, shall know how to best deal with it. Give it freely unto them and think of it no further. Pray that your own dreams do not take you to strange shores before a fearful river. Should you be caught up in this web of madness, death itself cannot give me succor from the grief I will know. Dun, dun, dun.
Does she read this to us?
She hands it to you and she says, I should not have. I should have read this first.
Do you want it back?
This vision.
Do you say, do you want it back?
Yeah, I say, do you want it back?
No, I would enlist your help. She looks genuinely scared now.
Yeah,
Do you
I think we need to take it to the temple, don't we?
I think
That's exactly
get
what
to
I
where
was
the
going to
ghost-
suggest.
I think.
Why
yes.
don't we
Where
go?
in Ascalon.
But who were
Where's
these
Matt?
Stygians who, I had a message from my father, but it was not the agreed message. And he said he would send me a coded message, and when I received a letter to say that he was in Ascalon and could I please go back and retrieve something for him, it did not include the code word, and so I came back here to investigate, and these Stygians, they kidnapped me and brought me back here, forcing me, and they said that show us the hidden passages of your father's library. Well, then you were here. So who were they? Do you know who they were?
But
No.
there was a pirate, wasn't there? There was a Shemitish pirate. Who
Yeah,
was hunting
Gal
down-
Arvard.
Oh,
Yeah.
somebody's been
Oh,
keeping
no.
notes. I like it. Well done. Yes, there was some rumors about that.
Are they connected to those?
Oh.
And if you remember,
Did the
Publio was
pirate
offering
to
a
us?
big reward, wasn't he?
There was a reward for this packet, yes. The own festing.
Is
thing.
Publio in league with them as well? Because he wanted us to get the artifact back, and he would, in theory, pass it on to Tomar, but we should do it directly.
Yes. And Ariadne.
Yeah.
Ariadne. That's right. You saw the name on the thing, yeah? So I don't have to put it in the chat.
But what
So
about
should-
that warning?
Will
What
you
about that
help?
warning we got?
Well, we will help for certain. Your father wanted you to go where? To meet him?
To Ascalon. Ascalon is a
He
city.
said in Ascalon. Fine,
That's
Baruch.
the thing the Antaeus Spectre shouted. Ascalon, and
Yeah.
we should find Baruch.
I'm going to show you a map.
The iron must not open.
Road trip.
Can you see the map now?
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, yes, I can.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So Messantia is in the
Oh.
west, and you basically see there's Elot,
Yeah.
another Argosian city, and there's Ascalon, which is, there's no scale on this map, but it's going to be a few days away.
You probably passed through there on the way from I think Prince Saturpus' court, didn't you?
I think you probably actually sailed past it.
Hmm.
Because there's this other city here. It doesn't have a name, I can't remember what it's called now. But in Shem, which you probably got a ship straight to Messantia.
So if I may, I asked Tura if her father could be alive, if he is able, or if she ever knew of him able to present himself in the way that she saw him this time.
I'm still dealing with what I saw, but I don't think he's ever talked about being able to do that. I fear he might, as his letter indicates, he might have been killed. And she sort of tries to
We
keep
saw
her
his
composure
ghost.
there as she says that word.
Through some kind of
Just
sorcery,
saying those
he's
words
still
make
alive.
them real.
So
That's maybe how he had power over the Spectre, because he was a Spectre like the evil Spectre.
yeah,
Getting a big
Oh.
message somewhere.
perhaps we should go immediately to the temple, speak to the priests,
Tomar.
and then arrange transport as soon as we can, if that's the advice that the priests give us.
Yeah, to Ascalon, yeah.
So,
You're right.
First, we should stop by Publio, though. He offered to pay us 10 gold for the information about Antaeus. Let's not forget that.
In my experience, the Church of Mitra has much more gold than merchants, and so
Yeah, of course.
they may
No,
pay us handsomely. Publio may pay us and then slit our throats.
I'm not
You
talking
can't
about
trust him.
giving Publio the artifact. He's just, if you remember, you put 50 gold for the artifact, and then an additional 10 gold just for finding out what happened to Antaeus.
Mhm.
And if we go to a temple, there's no guarantee they might want the artifact. But
Well, let's drop off the artifact first at the temple, then we go and see Publio after, so he can't attempt to steal it from us.
Yes.
That would have been my suggestion as well.
Yeah, just looking at my audio levels here, just for trios, I actually need to put a limiter on it. You tend to be a bit louder.
You made me too quiet.
Yeah, I have a limiter on it. I shouldn't hit the limit, but you still managed to do it. Don't know how you do it. Anyway.
Prius is mighty.
He's mighty, we know that. He's mighty loud. Right, so let me just recap briefly. So you now basically agreed to help her, right?
Yeah.
You said, of course we will help you, but what are you going to actually help her with? Because she said, we need to go to Ascalon, we need to find out why my father wants me there. Because I believe that's where he went.
But he said
there.
Yes, but he said in the deciphered code that you were to give this gem of evil
to the temple.
If we don't do that first, then we're carrying around something that may result in something worse than just that specter.
So are you basically? It's pretty much middle of the night, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning or something. So are you basically saying, let's stay here for now, let's go somewhere else for now, or are you basically making a beeline for the temple?
So what if we need the artifact in Ascalon?
His decrypted message said to give it to the temple. So it's not going to say two things.
But then his ghost also said to go to Ascalon.
Yeah, but
didn't he say? He didn't say take the artifact.
No, we should just go there and find somebody.
Yeah. Ariadne was just here.
No, Toma was here, not Ariadne.
Oh,
Ariadne
Toma was here
boss.
20 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's awake. Let's not worry about that. The worst thing is we're traveling by darkness, but let's just catch up to them, get into the temple, they'll wake up the people. If this is that important, we should deal with it right away and not sleep or rest, and rest once we're at the temple. We'll be safer at the temple than we are here, I believe.
Well, we should also follow up at some point, follow up on the guards that were chasing the guards that were chasing the Stygians, because they still have the eye, I think.
Okay, a few minutes into your conversation, actually some of the household staff are stumbling into this, and they had all been knocked out or subdued and bundled into a room somewhere by the Stygians. They relayed, but they are starting to tidy up around you now and starting to do things. And Tira says, of course, make sure my father's house is in good shape. I will be the new mistress here, and so on. So she clearly has inherited this. And she's really trying to put on a brave face to the whole thing. But yeah, if you wanted to find out where the city guards got to, you probably will have to find this Captain Lebantis again and ask at some point. So first call, are you going straight to the temple? That's what I heard.
We need to be careful we're not ambushed.
Mm-hmm.
They may be waiting for us out there. If they've hidden away from the guards, these brigands may be waiting for us. So yeah, we need to be careful. Yeah, I think we should head to the temple.
Okay, and with that advice to her, she says, well, if you think so, let me just tidy myself up and then we can go right away. And she returns to her childhood room and comes back. Basically, she's wearing a different tunic, because the other one had some blood on it, and she sort of cleared herself up and put a little bandage around her neck. Looks a bit strange, but where she had been stabbed in the neck. Right, now we still... What are we doing for time? I have no idea. It felt like a really long session already, but it's only before 9.
10-2.
So, we can probably take you across to the temple. Can you do me? Now, you said you want to be really careful when you move through the city, right? Not to be ambushed and all that. So, who's going to scout ahead?
Well, the scout, I guess.
Who's going to have a look? And I'm going to just change my map somewhere.
I'll do the scouting, so I've got some useful talents. Unless we want to do it as a pair, because I know she was good at it too.
I think I would say that you probably should go. How injured are you?
Because I
Not at
used
all.
fortune, I'm not injured at all, am I now?
You are injured,
Yeah,
I believe, but your wounds are treated. So
Yeah,
they
they're
won't,
treated, so
they won't give you any sort of extra difficulty levels. However, if you get injured again, they'll break open again.
okay, break open again. I'm okay.
Well, would you like me to come with you? I can.
No, I'll be okay.
Okay.
So what would you like me to roll? You want me to do a stealth roll, yes?
No, stealth would be hiding. Are you looking to be stealthy, or so nobody sees you, or are you looking to see whether there's an ambush being set for you? That's the question.
I want to be stealthy when I move ahead, and then I'm looking for an ambush.
Which was
So,
the observation for me.
I want to step away from the group a little bit, go ahead of them, using stealth. So
let's do stagger then. Let's do stealth first, and then you can do me an observation one after.
We've got no momentum. So
Not currently, but you can give me Doom if you want to. I'll hang on to it and use it sensibly at some point.
I'll
got
give
9.
you one Doom, just to start the ball rolling.
Ooh, that's not bad, is it? 4 successes.
Oh.
Quiet as mice and stealthy as shadows, you move around ahead of the group, and dance from rooftop to rooftop. So, see whether you see anything. You can use some of the momentum for your observation roll.
Because I had Living Shadow, I actually gain a bonus momentum
you did.
too. So I got 5 momentum as a result of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do an observation check. I will use one of the momentum for that. In fact, let me use 2. I'll generate more probably.
Ooh.
No.
Still got 1
Can
success.
you reroll?
Now you are...
Oh, sorry, yeah, observation. I can re-roll one of those. Bear with me.
Feel free to.
Gonna re-roll the 20. There we
That's a
go.
bit better, isn't it? So you do, as you hop from rooftop to rooftop and so on, you do see somebody who seems to be skulking around. Who seems to be observing your path to the temple, and then the group are sort of moving ahead, moving into their side, and they sort of go into shadow, press themselves into the shadow, but you have seen them.
Okay, I'm going to follow them and see what they do. If they're not doing any harm to the group, I'll let them follow the group, and I'll follow the person following the group.
And I can use my observation as well.
Yeah, you can,
And
but
stealth
it's
if
going to
I
be
need
harder
to.
for you because they're hiding from you.
If there's an opportunity that the others can see me, I'll sort of give a wave and then I'll point down
Right.
someone following them.
For the
becomes
normal
possible.
finish time, I mean, we have played until half past, but we have about 9 minutes left. So I'm just wondering whether we should leave it at this stage for the next time, before there's another rooftop chase or similar. What do you think? Slightly shorter session, would that be acceptable, or do you want to play for another 20 minutes?
Either one is fine with me.
Yeah,
Either one is fine with me.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Mortars?
Yeah.
Everybody's fine. So you're making me reread this thing then. Right. Because there's the thing is, this first act, if you like, yeah, it's got lots and lots and lots of write-up, and then it says,
If it's a lot, we can stop short and then
mission accomplished,
Yeah.
it says. And then there's another 20 pages. What happens after mission accomplished? And nothing is accomplished yet, really. So, because there's so many different branches that he could be taking. Yeah. So, you see this strange guy, and he's observing you. Now, if he doesn't attack you, do you just want to let him be? Or...
I do, yeah. I don't want to attack him, yeah.
So if he doesn't attack you guys, then you're fine.
Yeah. If he looks like he's going to attack the others, then I'll do something. But if he's just watching them, I want to see who he's in league with, and therefore see where he goes and what he does.
Okay. Now, of the party who are progressing down the street together with Tyra and so on, I think, Shira, you probably have the best observation. Is that right? Do me an observation.
Yeah, I think so.
Of difficulty, let's do 3, because he's quite well hidden. Whether you spot this guy. We have some momentum left.
Very nice.
Success is 5. So you basically catch a sight of a little sign that that Trius gives you from the rooftop, and alerted thus, you basically look into this little alleyway where there's some stacked up old rubbish, and behind that you see that there's a figure lurking, trying to hide from you, being stealthy, observing you carefully as you go by. What do you do with that information? You've got so much momentum now, you can actually ask me a couple of questions about the person if you wanted.
Is the person Stygian?
Is the person Stygian? You don't think they're Stygian? No.
But it doesn't look similar to the group that attacked us in the home.
No, it doesn't look similar.
Does it look like someone who perhaps would have been hired by Publio to keep an eye on us?
Oh, it's really hard to say that, but it looks like somebody who's quite used to hiding from people, so you think he might be the sort of typical scoundrel that Publio might deal with, but you can't just look at him and say, oh, look, he's got a receipt from...
Yeah. No, absolutely. So I'm going to... Prius and I have developed a hand signal relationship here, and so I do my little hand signaling to indicate that there's someone else here, and I just whisper to Durzo what I have seen.
All right. After he tells me, I'll have a look as well. Does he look like he could be a threat, as in he could be attacking us from the shadows?
Just do me normal observation roll, and then we see.
Oh boy. Actually,
just a normal observation roll. And I'll see how many successes you've got, how much information I tell you about.
Is it clear to me that the figure that she was seeing is the same one I've spotted?
Yes.
It's the same figure.
Yes. You see her spot the same person. That's obvious to you. Right, Durzo. 1 success because you haven't learned that one. So, or you have no focus on it.
Yeah.
You think that this person by themselves in an open fight would not be a problem for you. If they continue to skulk after you and ambush you or whatever, they could be an issue, because anybody can be an issue if you don't see them coming.
In this case, I would just shift my position in the group to be between the group and the lurking figure.
Okay.
Just trying to keep somewhat ready, but not looking too suspicious. Basically.
Okay, so the whole group moves past this alleyway, and you sort of hang back a little bit to block the path if you wanted to try something. But the others seem to be reasonably unaware of this and basically just in their own thoughts, accompanying this young woman, Tira. She's described as about 16 years old here. so really young, down the alleyway through the night routes, night streets of what is it called, Mesantia. Right, sorry, I just had a big noise in my ear, so very distracting. What are your thoughts? Let's just close on this. As you now move through these moonlit streets with that potential threat of somebody behind you, with what you've just been through, all that, what are your thoughts right now? For your character's thoughts, that is.
Well, I, for one, am quite worried that the Stygians are on the loose with their artifact.
Mm-hmm. On the move, did you say?
Yeah, like on the run, basically.
The artifact you have, don't you?
We've got the artifact.
No. Didn't the Stygians that escaped with Spectre have some sort of artifact treasure too?
On their own.
Oh, possibly.
Yeah,
Possibly.
We'll ask about one.
Because there were two, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Two Stygians.
that's what I
We
understood.
found in the library.
Well, there was this
That
one.
one of them had something.
There was this one big gemstone which you have back now because you made basically this other Stygian. You had made it throw with the Spectre.
Exactly, but wasn't there a second, smaller thing?
Yeah,
Second
that
artifact.
the person had.
There might have been something that they brought with them, but you don't think they have anything that
Okay.
they've stolen from
Okay.
the house.
In this case, I'm not worried at all about those.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought they had something else there. Must be a mistake.
I think this person's working for Publier. That's what I think.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
And
I'm thinking the
following
same
us.
thing.
Somebody shadowing you, working for Publio, so Publio cannot be trusted.
Mm.
Okay, what goes through Mortis's head?
Yeah, well, I didn't recognize him, right? I didn't see him. I'm
You
not
don't
aware
know
of his
about this
presence.
extra skull care. Yeah, that's actually news to you. You just don't know about it. But what about the whole thing? The whole what you've just experienced? What does that stir in you? Or do you just say, I want to get back to this library and sit there for a few months?
I don't know. I still don't trust the temple as much. I feel like who knows, but yeah, I'm not too sure who's following us. I don't know. Publio could be the since Publio doesn't have a sigil on this person or anything, it makes it easy recognition.
My
Not sure.
I mean,
my
Publio for me
my-
was the only one that was actually interested / worried about Antaeus.
Mm.
So, I mean, he doesn't seem like the evil guy to me. And yeah, Thomas seems like a decent chap, but the rest of the temple was kind of off, if I remember correctly. The relationship between the temple and Antaeus isn't quite clear.
Not yet, no. But
Yeah.
this
Here's a-
letter, he indicated to take it to Ariadne. So there
Yeah,
must be
so
something,
that's
some
what
sort of
they're gonna
trust
do,
there.
but
He seems to trust in himself, doesn't he?
Yeah, my initial thoughts before I started, once I saw and observed this person who was really hiding. I mean, I really had to observe. Before I was thinking, should we go to her retreat house? Should we go into the mountains?
The countryside.
And because apparently Publio didn't know where it was, and so those were my initial thoughts. Was, maybe we should go somewhere and kind of figure out how to go about things. But now seeing this, we've got to unravel what's going on. Like, who are the interested parties and why are they seeking this evil thing? So I'm trying to work this all out.
And there's a family connection, isn't there? There's the ancestor on the boat and his, family connection to the person who's seeking this gem out. So something going on there, isn't there?
Yes.
There's also some pirates involved, some Shemite pirates. So, or is that just the same group? It's just been misconstrued as to where they're from. And we've got Publio, who claims to be the friend of Antaeus, but he's a little bit of an underhand character, and he's probably just in it for profit. And there's an opportunity here.
I'm gonna say something that I wasn't too sure if I wanted to say this like here so that people who are watching hear it, but I was thinking to myself, is Tura trustworthy? And I was thinking that at the time, like, she never really seemed to be under real threat, and there's something that's not sitting right with me, and I don't know what it is, but there's something there. I just don't know.
Okay.
So my character is thinking about that as well.
Good. Those threats do something for me. That's very, very kind of you all to share, because it gives me something to play with. That's excellent. So, I think as you walk towards the temple, you arrive at the temple, and at the big gate of this huge temple in Missantia, is one of the biggest temples, the Mitra Temple. There's many, many different temples here. It's not like a monotheistic or intolerant place, but the Mitra Temple is big. I need to decide whether to call it Mitra or Mitra, because I seem to be changing all the time. So I'm going to call it Mitra. Remind me, please. The Mitra Temple. And at that point, we bring down the curtain for today, I think, because that is a good cut for me. With a potential threat of a lurker. Good. Well, we will have a brief chat about next dates. I think we have one in the diary, don't we? But when is it?
A bit off. In 3 weeks' time?
2, 3?
I have it on the 8th.
Okay.
The 8th of June. Yep. Good. Now, hopefully I've got it on the same day. I left my calendar over there in the kitchen, so I don't want to go and get it. But that's roughly, what's today? Oh, today is the 18th. It's 2 weeks, 3 weeks away, is it?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So if you want to come back, watch the stream live, yeah, some of you do, some of you don't, not yet, but I think the plot is thickening, and I'll be very, very interested to see how you interact with the priests of Mitra, and what plans and journeys are going to be plotted next. So I'm really looking forward to the next episode. But for now, I'm going to...
Shira is Shira, you are a priest, right?
I'm a priest, but not of Mitra.
No.
I'm a skeptical, cynical priest.
Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen, Kai. No? Also, I'm going to close the stream now, and then I'll see you all online in 3 weeks' time. Bye for now.
Bye.